What's up guys, Bloggy's back here with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you my new design, my new twisty puzzle, and a whole process that I'm going to go through to make it. But before I get into it, there's something I have to tell you. The Puzzle Advent Calendar is this puzzle is the 22nd puzzle in the Puzzle Advent Calendar, a collaborative project between the puzzle designers where for the first 24 days of December a new puzzle is released every day, so you never know what you're going to see. I put a link in the description to the playlist with all these videos, so be sure to check it out. And the next designer posting for this project tomorrow is Alpha Twist, so be sure to go check out his video. The idea for my Egg 2.0 emerged immediately after completing my original egg puzzle a little over 2 years ago. Except I wanted to make it crazier, like way crazier. My original egg has 3 layers one way and 5 the other way, and it has a circle embedded in all of the sides, but not the ends. So instead of a 3x3x5, how about a 5x5x7? And instead of 1 circle on each side, how about 2? And heck, the ends were boring, so why not stick circles there as well? And there you have it. I tried this design twice, but I wasn't able to make it work. However, this time, I felt older, wiser, smarter, and more determined than ever. So I gave it another shot.
Another one.
Now, before I explain my design, I want to explain a key puzzle design concept. Notice, if we take some pieces out on a 3x3, this edge hooks into the puzzle. Same with this corner piece, which also has a stem reaching down into the cube. To generalize, all puzzles need hooks and or stems so the pieces won't fall out. However, in complex puzzles, the stems, specifically the stem thickness, usually becomes a concern. Glossing over the details, this is why big cubes like this 11x11 have larger outer layers. Without them, the corner stem would literally be squeezed entirely out of existence. So here are 2 designs. The one on the left was my original design, and the one on the right was a redesign after getting some advice from some more experienced puzzle makers. This is considerably more complex than a 3x3, but if you take a minute and look at them, they have all the same elements. A few more hooks, and a few more stems. I felt satisfied with my original design, but this was my first time designing something this complex, and I felt like I didn't know what I didn't know. Uncertain about the practicality of my design, I sought advice from an expert. I first learned puzzle design from videos done by BAHNER'S, so I thought, who better to ask? Shout out to Matt, who took the time to thoroughly explain some useful and super cool puzzle design concepts. These concepts became the backbone of this project, so big thanks to him. He's got some crazy designs and funny videos, so go check out his channel with the link in the description. I also want to give a shout out to these puzzle designers I met on Discord, who gave me some useful tips along the way. I brought both of these designs up because one of the biggest steps I took in this project was fixing some flaws in my original design. First, these 2 center hooks have small complicated contours that could lead to more lockups and catching. This can be fixed by having the parts move around the hooks, so the hook can both extend out farther and sit more securely into its slot, being longer. This also creates the added advantage of some of the parts above the hook holding in the ones below. And second, in my original mechanism, everything is supported under the top 2 hooks, which isn't the most stable design. By moving one hook down lower, like this, a few pieces can be held in separate from the others, creating a frame. Then, the rest of the pieces can fit into the gaps and sit under the top hook. I didn't understand this concept at first, but this is what you'll see if you dig into most big cubes like this 9x9. If I take it apart, you can see it's like a skinny, weird-looking 3x3. By making a frame that can hold itself together, it adds a whole extra level of stability to the mechanism. At this point, I had the basic mechanism figured out, so I wanted to print a few test pieces to see how things would go together. I'm going to start off with these edges here, and I'm going to print them out just to see if these parts alone fit, and then I'll go from there. Now I'm in Slicer here, and I am going to drag my parts in here. Time to slice it up. Alright, so welcome to my basement. Here we are. I got this bed weld adhesive to help it stick to the plate. Looks pretty good. And boom! They fit together pretty nicely, but I want to take a step back though, and made one critical oversight. If I were to finish this design as it stood, all of these parts would be forced to move together. I wanted the mechanism to be able to move independently along any of these lines, so the current mechanism was unacceptable. A square rotating in a square-shaped cavity will force everything around it to rotate as well. This concept applies from here all the way down to the core. Everything above is supposed to move with the center, so that doesn't count. That means if the centerpiece turns, all of this will be forced to turn as well. Thankfully, a fairly simple solution hit me. If you just have a circle and a square like this, it can turn freely without bringing any other pieces with it. So I just needed to make the center stem circular from here down. And boom, problem solved. Everything could now move freely. Now I had to add the clearances. Clearances are little gaps in between the pieces that reduce friction and allow the puzzle to fit together and turn smoothly. For clearance size, I tested 0.3mm gaps, which seemed a little small. These stay together. They're supposed to fall apart. So I made them 0.5mm, while 0.4mm may have also worked. But if I take these, there you go. There you go. After the clearances, I needed to add the Psych! No, I got too excited, so I printed an entire test skeleton! Also to, maybe get a rough idea of how the puzzle would fit together. It's very catchy, but sometimes you can get the turns going, like here. There it goes, it caught. I plan to add springs. I haven't added any fillets yet, and I also haven't added the lube. A lot of these problems could be fixed with those additions. With this done, I went on to add the fillets. I started by giving the 3x3 frame the biggest fillets I could everywhere. My logic for the other fillets was that areas forming turning cavities, only these areas, would have small fillets. If every area had small fillets, then they would catch on each other. So with that in mind, I would add large fillets to the areas sliding through the cavities where possible, and have heavily rounded pieces that would easily slide through them, almost trying to resemble ball bearings. You can see this concept not only in this circle, but also in the inner shells of the mechanism. Frankly, I don't really know if this logic makes any difference, but it felt right to me, so I stuck with it. Now that my design was complete, it was time to start making parts. So I've been working on these. I'm calling them shark fins. Now, why am I calling them shark fins, you ask? Well, because this. They look like a bunch of sharks. The final batch of shark fins. Quite a few parts here. Successful print of all of these. Now I am starting another one.
Another one.
And we have a successful print. The layout. Woo! And look who decided to join us. Wow! Wow! And he's gone. That's my little cat, Mox. He's lurking somewhere. He's a little goober. And I have all these little ones. Got those, these. And now time for a big support peeling time lapse. I've come up with a design change, and unfortunately, gonna require me to reprint all of these. But that being said, this piece can fit right here. You see, the flat edge is just clearing this tiny piece right here. Now, if I try to put it under this piece right here, it doesn't fit. It can't sit cleanly into the mechanism because this flat piece hits it. Now, you see, I have a line drawn on that. What I'm proposing for this design change is that I remove all of that material because I really don't need any of it. What this will allow that to do is to comfortably sit over this piece because now there's open space right there. It can fit over that piece and it doesn't touch it, almost like a shell. It's gonna be crazy. Oh yeah, look at that beautiful part. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, look at that.
Hi, buddy. What's going on? Say hi to the video. Yeah, say hi.
Ah, there we go. And what we are left with, all the end fish hooks. I don't know if these are shark fins anymore. The last thing I had to do before the assembly was to bend the springs. This is an untouched spring, so they do need to be shorter. And this is one that I bent. If you can see the ends, they kind of go inwards. That's so that the end of the spring won't make the ting, 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 ting sound as it rotates around and catches. Let's try some first turns here. Whoa. Whoa. Alright guys, I got some more lube. The egg is here for a pit stop. I'm about to drench this thing in lube and hopefully it will turn a little better. Now, I've been turning it a lot, figuring out how to work this thing. You just have to make sure it's aligned, but then these circles turn fine. Even the middle layers. Boom, there you go. Look at that. I thought that this tiny long circle would never turn, but I was proved wrong. One full rotation of the long one. And then also, there's a special turn I can make. If I go over here, you can see my hollow that I had is coming in handy. Now, I can go like that. And then I can go like that. Turn that back. Then I can go over here. And then I can no longer turn this circle because these pieces are blocking it. A full checkerboard pattern. There it is, the Egg 2.0 in a full checkerboard pattern. You can like see inside it with all the undercuts and I think it looks kind of awesome. The only real improvements that I could think to add were to design these circles a little better. They're just so small and I can barely turn them, and design the center caps better. In future, I'll make sure that I take some care to design center caps that won't fall out. Other than that, the whole thing came out great. It looks super cool. It turns pretty well, except for the little circles. The big question, will I ever solve this thing? Someday. We're working on that. I thought it would be similar to Little Junior here, which I can solve, but there's a little more to it than that. Alrighty, so I whipped up a quick model for a stand in SolidWorks. It's got a nice contour that matches the shape of the puzzle. Barely fits on the print plate. Here it is. 1 hour, 1 tired cat, 1 blistered right ring finger, and a whole lot of support material. Later, here it is, the egg stand. Boom. And then, ta-da! This is the Egg 2.0. And you can see how long it took me to make this video by how much bigger this dude has gotten. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Peace out, until next time.